Hello, my brothers. I want to talk to you today about empowering yourself with anger. How does that make you feel when you hear that? In my experience, so many of the men that I have worked with have not wanted to connect to anger because they felt that it was scary or that they don't have any anger, that they're just fine. They're just fine being a nice guy. And in my experience, we are repressing our anger because we have a lot to be angry about. For most of us, we had to repress really strong emotions in order to be a good boy and make it through our childhood. If we did have anger issues in our childhood that weren't resolved and we became someone that could be called an aggressive person, that's still repressed anger because what we were doing was being angry at the wrong people, at the wrong situations. We weren't able to be angry with the right people and the right circumstances. When we allow ourselves to do that, to fully let the anger exist and move up and out of our bodies, then we find balance, then we find peace, and we find empowerment. Your anger is not something to be scared of. It's something to embrace because it has a message for you. You may have had masculine role models in your life that didn't know how to work with their anger. Either they were constantly angry or they repressed it as well. Either way, we need to embrace our healthy masculine by calling that anger forward and utilizing it to empower ourselves. And so, how do we do that? Here's a couple of suggestions. My first suggestion is to start to discover who and what you haven't allowed yourself to be angry at. What weren't you allowed to be when you were a child? What did you have to pretend to be? Though you don't need to be 100% clear on who and what you are angry at, to find an entry point is really helpful. So for myself, it was very easy for me to be angry at the church because it was an institution, it wasn't a person. Once the anger does start to come up, what you may find is that anger at more things, more places, more people comes up. This is healthy. This isn't something that you have to repress. Again, you're not taking it to your mom. You're not taking it to specific people. You're moving with it and allowing it to exist in your own contained space. Once you have a direction for your anger to come from and go towards, then you can use a couple of practices. The first thing that I suggest is that music is very helpful to tap into anger and to allow yourself to move it. For myself, when I was going through this process, I made myself a playlist called Not So Nice because I was always taught to be the nice boy. So I needed something that represented the part of me that was repressed, my angry part, my bold part, my masculine self, which I wasn't allowed to be. I wasn't allowed to be powerful. I wasn't allowed to be anything but nice. So to create a playlist that represented this other side of me, it helps take what's inside and externalize it. It helps us connect to what has been repressed and bring it up and out. So with the playlist that you make, take it to the gym. Take it to the gym and lift heavy weights, things that challenge you to the point where you might have to grunt, where you're breathing heavily, where your whole body is engaged, and you can make sound in a place where it's allowed, where you can be your boldest, loudest, fullest, strongest self. If that doesn't work for you, take it into the car. Take a drive, listen to this music as loud as you want to. You can pound the steering wheel, you can drive and scream. Perhaps you drive and you go to take a hike. You go for a hike and you pick up big, heavy rocks and you throw them against each other and watch them break. You might name what this rock represents. This represents the church. This represents my mom. This represents this moment when I had to be quiet. And you yell and you throw the rock. You watch it explode. You hear the sound of your own voice. You breathe, you feel yourself move and become empowered and move this energy up and out of your body. Another way to move this energy up and out is to pile up pillows on your bed and again use this music. Or maybe you choose to use music that's empowering, like the Gladiator theme or something to that of that nature, where it really is like, yes, you're rising up and you're fighting back, that you use that kind of music, anything that inspires you to move that energy up and out. So, with your pillows on your bed, you give yourself a timer that for 1 minute or 30 seconds, that you punch the pillows, that you hit the pillows against each other and you move your body, you pound and you get that energy out. You breathe and you make sounds and you do it over and over and over. If it feels like it's a little forced, that's a sign that you need it even more. In all of these practices, what you may find underneath, whether it's in the moment or later, is that what is underneath is sadness, it's grief. And we can't get to it sometimes because we haven't allowed ourselves to first be angry, which is a natural response. A natural response to having to hold ourselves back, to repress ourselves or change ourselves in our formative years. The actual right response is anger. And then we can grieve the loss of that. As we call back our masculine power and then let ourselves fall into our feminine, we feel that balance. This is deeply healing. You do not have to walk around this world holding repressed feelings. You don't have to swallow back the grief, the frustration. You can let yourself feel the natural feelings for having lost something from your childhood. And you can call back your true essence, the parts of yourself that weren't allowed to be strong and bold and brave. I would love to know how this resonates with you in the comments, how you feel about it. Have you ever done this practice? Try it out and then let me know how it goes. If you haven't seen, I'm doing 30 days of a video a day, and I would love to know what you would like more videos on. So you can also leave that in the comments. Lots of love. Until tomorrow.